Well, it looks like the reboot of James Bond is upon us, or at least it's nearing our particular time frame. And James Bond franchisees director choices are, well, now part of a list. And of course, the story that we're getting this from is our friends over at Bleeding Fool, who seem to have their finger on the pulse of what's happening right now. So let's take a look at the story and jump off from there. James Bond franchisee director choices. Here's the top of the list. And as we scroll down, Eon Productions, the studio behind James Bond franchise, is reportedly close to finding the right director to bring the iconic adventures of 007 back to the big screen following Daniel Craig's overdue departure. No Time to Die was a terrible film, times about six, and it cost too much to make and didn't make any money and lost quite a bit. While much speculation had focused on who will be cast as Bond, the filmmaker chosen to take the helm is equally important and will indicate the kind of approach, comedic, action based, or gritty, the studio will take as the beloved franchise heads into its latest era, one that I believe will be very compromised. According to The Telegraph, Eon is starting meeting with potential directors, with award winning Edward Berger, best known for 2020's All Quiet on the Western Front, at the top of the list. Interestingly, he has also been tapped for the next installment of the Bourne franchise, suggesting the studio is looking to follow in the footstep of the amnesiac assassin, as they did with Daniel Craig's reboot, which I thought was terrible. Terrible idea to pattern it that way. While many long for James Bond movie helmed by Christopher Nolan, the report claims the studio is instead looking for another Martin Campbell, who successfully rebooted Bond in 2006's Casino Royale. In other words, they are seeking a safe and seasoned pair of hands without the sort of distinctive personal style that would impinge on Bond's own. Other names being discussed alongside Berger include screenwriter Kelly Marcel, known for writing 50 Shades of Grey and the Venom movies, filmmakers David McCode, Michaud, there we go, that's probably it, Bart Layton, and Yan Demange, I don't care. They've also been mentioned and would make interesting choices for the next Bond saga, and suggest the studio will continue a grounded and gritty approach, which they really shouldn't do, which is probably the problem with Bond. As for who will play the new Bond, the current frontrunner is Bullet Train and Craven the Hunter star Aaron Taylor Johnson, which is what I've been saying now for months. However, 007 expert and author James Chapman tells The Telegraph that the Taylor Johnson reports are likely a rumor, but possibly an official rumor, a testing of the waters by Eon just to see what the public reaction would be. Well, I think it would work out rather well, and I think that he's almost perfect for the role. I think it could work. Much like Daniel Craig's casting was at the time, the actor chosen to be the new Bond is usually something of a surprise. With the likes of Taylor Johnson and Henry Cavill often favored by bookies, the final choice is more likely to be someone unexpected. Look, I don't know that she could do a lot better than Aaron Taylor Johnson or Henry Cavill. I think they both would work. And Cavill seems rather ageless, and I think Aaron Taylor Johnson is a solid choice as well. But it's interesting that the director choices are what they're focused on. And, well, I think it says a lot about how close they are to moving forward. Because once you have the director, you kind of have it all. Personally, I wish they would reach out to a very well known and established director who was personally passionate about the franchise, and that would be Mr. Nolan. I think he could bring something new to the table and maybe give us a little more humor than grittiness, and maybe a little bit of a taste of a better, younger Bond, maybe back from the originally established character that was played by the likes of Sean Connery, Roger Moore, and my personal favorite Bond. That's not true, but one of the greats, George Lazenby. But hey, what do you think? Do you think that any of the directors mentioned are deserving of a spot in the cherished position of director for any of these Bond films? Or, like me, do you think you should see somebody who's an established, wonderfully creative director like Mr. Nolan? Also, who do you favor in the position of the new Bond that's cast. I would personally like to see Aaron Taylor Johnson or Henry Cavill, but I think Aaron Taylor Johnson is the winner in the clubhouse. Are there any other actors you would suggest for that role? Let me know those thoughts down in the comments section below. A quick reminder that about 70% of you that watch my videos are still not subscribed, and while they've been crawling by your feed and you've been watching them, I hope you found some value. Please join us by clicking on the subscribe button down below. It's absolutely free. And hopefully you get to see more and more of the valuable material I put together, including the live streams and some of the extra special things that I do for my members. Also, I can't overstate that if you get the opportunity to share the video out there, that helps as well amongst all of the different various and, interesting social platforms. So if you have an X account, a Threads account, a Facebook account, or an Instagram, feel free to share my videos there as well. And a like would be appreciated. Not expected, but hopefully you did like the video. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya.